Hey guys, Brex here, and we're doing some space engine exploration. Now, by popular demand, I got four, four requests, like an overwhelming amount of requests, to go to CMA Dwarf, which is actually a mod. But, yeah, I'm assuming I got these requests because Anton Petrov made a video on this. I would appreciate if people don't just send me suggestions that other YouTubers have gone to. I prefer when you go out and explore yourself and find something cool and then submit it to me. I don't like to just replicate everything that other YouTubers do. But since I have a request from multiple people, I guess I went ahead and loaded up the mod, and it should be over in this direction, left of the Orion Nebula and Barnard's Loop, which I think might be that cluster right there. Certainly is. So you can see that huge cluster there. This mod was a pain to load. I couldn't just drop the file in the add-ons folder. I actually had to extract it and then directly import it into the root files of the game. So yeah, it's a bit of a pain to load. If I increase the magnitude, it should pop in as well. It does not appear to want to. So let's reset the magnitude. And let's turn up galaxies. Okay, that forced it to load. So, there it is. This is CMA Dwarf. It is Canis Majoris Dwarf. It is a galaxy that is essentially colliding or has collided with the Milky Way and will eventually become one with the Milky Way. This game is just generated as a typical elliptical galaxy. I don't think it's actually accurately represented because there are actually some images of the general outline of the galaxy. I think this is just a typical elliptical galaxy you'll just find anywhere around the universe here. Or not elliptical, irregular. It's an irregular galaxy. That's right. And yeah, it's pretty interesting because since it is a mod, it will actually generate a different set of stars. By that, I mean, it's going to basically add stars to the game, so none of these IDs that I'm actually linking to should actually show up in your game unless you have this mod loaded. And even then, it might not load due to variables and stuff. And that's a pretty interesting crater effect on this moon here. And, yeah, this is CMA Dwarf. If you want a good explanation of this galaxy, I'll either put in the description or an annotation that linking to Anton Petrov's video of this. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. Over here is a cluster. I don't know if this is actually a part of this galaxy or if this is just a part of the Milky Way. But if I double tap G, I should go to the center of it. Doesn't appear so. And if you look over here, oh, okay, so that's just the... Okay, so that's just a bunch of galaxies back there. I thought that was an interesting little star pattern that generated here. I was going to say, that's pretty cool. No, it's because I have my exposure magnitude turned up. And here is the black hole in the center of this little cloud galaxy. No. I don't think it actually generated any stars around it, though. Let's find out. I can't seem to select the black hole itself. I seem to have gotten trapped in it, though. I had no problem getting trapped in it. Maybe if I go forward? Okay, go forward. And I am free. There we go, got it selected. Okay, so if I hit F2, actually we do have a lot of things generated around it, including this little white dwarf over here. Hello, little white dwarf. You and your little accretion disk. You can't even see the black hole anymore. Where'd the black hole go? Probably in that direction. Probably that blue dot there. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, that's the black hole in the center of here. So it does actually generate its own stars. And I could probably select any star in this little cluster here. If I increase the magnitude, we should be able to see a lot more. This star here. So let's go ahead and pay a visit to this. I already see the HUD flickering, so I'm actually going to reset my magnitude because that will crash the game. And there's a cold ice world here. So yeah, basically generates how you would imagine any other like irregular galaxy to generate. Pretty standard. Rather small, just kind of caught up inside the Milky Way here. But yeah, I'll include a link to the mod in the description. As for how to install it, it's a little bit of a pain in the ass, so I might brief over that. But yeah. Anyways, pretty cool little mod. It doesn't only add this galaxy, it actually adds a lot of other ones, but I don't think I could actually... I don't even have the tab up, so whatever. I'm just going to continue on to viewer requests now. Okay, so Magna Razvan Nikolai wants me to visit Gliese 436b. Why does that sound familiar? Why does that sound like something I've already visited? Let's go ahead and load it in anyways. So it is a planet, a hot gas giant, pretty close. Okay, what is it orbiting around? Okay, it looks like just a orange dwarf, red dwarf. I get those mixed up a lot. It is a gas giant. What is interesting about this? It was discovered in 2004. It is tidally locked, consisting of hydrogen and helium, like most gas giants. Diameter is, there's a crane fly flying in front of my screen. 54,000, so it's not too big of a gas giant. Does not have any moons, as is expected, since it is a named gas giant in the game. Okay, so what is interesting about this gas giant? It's orbiting pretty close to its star, not too far out. It is at a semi-major axis of 431 million kilometers. Yeah. 431, no, 4.31 million kilometers. And, yeah, is there anything else actually in this system? No, it's just this little gas giant here. Is this supposed to be like the nearest discovered planet that we know of? We're kind of in our neighborhood. Don't think so. Not too sure. Okay, so we have another one from OCR, and he says there are 3 Terra, 2 Oceanias, and a hot desert. Pretty cool. It is a random star cluster, so let's go ahead and pay a visit. And they don't want to copy paste, because then I have to type them out, and that takes forever. Come on, you can copy paste. Come on. Nope, guess not. Okay, so I have that typed in now. No, it didn't load. Did I mistype something? No, it actually doesn't appear so. I think I actually got that correct. Okay, well the cluster itself loaded, so that's good enough. Okay, we got a hot desert. Don't have any Oceanias. Okay, yeah, I'm not seeing any Oceanias, so what this is telling me is that you're either looking at a moon, or we have a version mismatch. Yeah, I don't see anything in the system matching what you've described. So, do this. Make sure you are on version 0.9.8.0, and make sure you are suggesting me things from there. If you are looking at a list or something on the internet, make sure that it is sometime this year, not 2015, because that was a previous version of the game. And yeah, essentially the planets that you suggest are not loading, so OZR, make sure you're on the correct version. And if I'm making a mistake, do call me out on that, because I am not seeing what you were talking about. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. That is from Derp Sauce Gaming. It wants me to visit HIP 13933, third planet and the 4th planet's moons. It does not appear to be cataloged. I did type that out, right? Correct? Yes. Oh, well, it still showed up anyways. Interesting. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, that's right. We were in a different galaxy. I was confused. I was like, did we just go from the Milky Way to the Milky Way? Okay, so he wants me to visit the third planet, which is a warm Terra. Okay, not very colorful. Kind of got that blue color. I actually see this one pretty frequently. We got a couple of hurricanes in the cloud layer. They don't have too many hurricane textures, I've noticed. It's like the same three, it seems like. Like, here's this texture, and I think that's the same one, just rotated and scaled up. I think I should probably load some graphic mods or something like that, but I really don't want to. I want to kind of keep the vanilla experience to the game. There's a parent star, and we have these interesting bumpy hills. I don't know what would make hills like this. It just seems kind of unusual to me. Maybe a molten surface just kind of solidifying, maybe? That might be it. Not too sure. So we have a kind of thin atmosphere, as you can tell by being able to visibly see the stars in the sky. I think those are other planets there, I'm quite sure. And we have a nice kind of blue atmosphere, consisting of carbon dioxide and H2O. So if we fly around, I don't think there's any large oceans at all. Actually, we might have one down here. No, not really any large oceans on this planet. We do have our lovely aurora effect that you can see in the night sky there. It causes kind of a redshift to the galaxy there, the atmosphere. And looks like we have some mountain terrain here. And I saw somewhere around here there was, yep, there it is, an active volcano, which has lava spewing down the sides of it. And the sunset I expect to be pretty standard, what you would expect to see pretty much on Earth. Because this is actually a pretty Earth-like planet. An ESI of 73%. Yeah, that looks pretty Earth-like. Just a bit of a thin atmosphere. He also wants me to go to the fourth planet, go to one of its moons, which was the... Okay, so he wants me to visit pretty much all the moons. Which, yeah, we actually have a lot of variety with these moons. Oh, wow. Okay, so we got this hot desert over here. Looks like a standard kind of pink and blue one, so I'm not going to bother landing on that. We have a temperate Terra over here, which actually has a lot more of an interesting color than the previous viewed one. This is, looks like it has green water. Either that or that's the atmosphere just kind of influencing the color of it. No, this water is definitely green. Yeah, its pH balance is a little bit off, so not very good for swimming in. Growing algae on the side of the pool. Here. Pretty high altitude cloud layer. It's not too close to the ground. And we got some kind of desert sand textures on this hilly terrain. I am on a temperate Terra, so it is on a little bit... No, it's actually pretty cold. It's a little bit colder than our planet, in fact. Yeah, it looks like we have some snow caps over here. Pretty cool. And I think I saw some poles. Was there poles? Yeah, there certainly is. So, here are some nice frozen poles. You can land on the snow here. As always, the edge of it generates a little bit weird. And half of it's actually a desert texture, and half of it like turns into like snow. Interesting. And I just sneezed. Oh, there we go. That's a nice view of the gas giant there, just kind of sitting in the corner of the atmosphere. And I'm sure as I pan through over to the night sky, it'll become more visible, and we'll be able to see the true colors of this beautiful gas giant. Yep, there we go. And I assume if I fly around to the backside, it does not actually get dark. It's actually nice and illuminated because of the reflection of that gas giant there. Very awesome. And you can kind of see the Milky Way and the, what is that, Large Magellanic Cloud over there? Yes, I do believe that's what that is. Very awesome. Here we have a temperate Oceania. Nothing too special, but we can actually walk on this one because it does actually have polar ice caps. out. I don't think I've actually been on an Oceania that I can actually set foot on. It kind of has greenish water, as you can tell. The blue atmosphere kind of covers that up from a distance, but no, it's definitely a little bit on the green side. To a cloud. The clouds are kind of low-lying. And I just lost track of where our pole was. There it is. One thing I'm noticing is the pole is like perfectly flat. It does not actually generate any bumpy terrain from what I can tell. No. Oh wait, yeah, it does. It has these crack things. Oh, it's just textured. It's not actually bumped, is it? It is very slightly. I imagine the reason why it's not generating any bumps or anything like any mountain ranges is because obviously it is a Oceania, and I don't think they're set to actually generate that if they're an Oceania. That might be a variable in the game. So we're not going to actually see any little mountains here at all, but we can actually land and enjoy the aurora. So let's go ahead and hit play. And there we go. But as you would imagine, this area of the planet is probably very, very cold, and we very, very likely would not actually be able to survive here. Not without, like, some very powerful heating systems of any kind. And that is actually a beautiful cloud texture. It's actually kind of bumpy, and really adds a lot of detail to the sunset. If I fly over, yeah, it's a really nice cloud layer. I'm a big fan of that. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next planet, and there's our flickering aurora. And it is another temperate Terra, so let's fly over. One, but this one's kind of got a purple texture. Let's go ahead and land on it. Okay, so the ground's actually a little bit pink, but the atmosphere is slightly... It's got a purple tinge to it as the blue kind of overlaps the pink here. And there's our gas giant, along with many other moons. Very cool view. We got kind of a gravel texture there. And, oh, over here we got, like, a river system and a bunch of mountains. Let's go ahead and land here. Oh, I apparently went in the water. So, here we go, on the beach of a mountain. So, we got these mountains here with a couple ice caps. And if we pan around, we have, yeah, it's a really cool little river system. Here's one that's, like, kind of cutting between the mountains here. And these mountains have a pretty nice erosion effect on them, making them look nice and natural. So, this one's a lot better than the first one that we actually looked at. It looks a lot cooler, a lot more natural. The cloud layer is not too detailed from what I can tell. No, it's kind of low resolution. And these mountain peaks are actually sticking out of the top of the clouds here. So as we go down the mountain, we just cut through the cloud layer. I think it'd be pretty cool to actually have like volumetric clouds or something like that, though. Okay, so we have another temperate Oceania. This one also has slightly green water from what I can tell with the thumbnail. Well, it looks pretty blue. This one does not have polar ice caps, and I don't think I could actually land here, so... I think it's just going to be our standard Oceania. Yep, it actually has blue water, from what I can tell. Let me fly a little bit slower. Yeah, this water is definitely blue. Kind of a dark blue, though. Let's go ahead and go over to the next temperate Terra. And there's actually not a lot of land here. This one's actually mostly water, from what I can tell. Yeah, it looks like it's mostly water. So we have very little land. So this is basically an Oceania with a couple islands on it. So let's go ahead and touch down on one of these. And we kind of have like an Earth-looking atmosphere, but the composition is completely different. I'm noticing none of these actually have life, though, sadly. We have some kind of eroded terrain on the beach side here, and the water is just kind of fading away from me. And we have some lovely blue water. Actually looks like the desert sand texture, though. And I don't think I'm actually going to find any hilly terrain here. It looks like this is pretty much what you got. Oh, wait, there might be hilly terrain right here. Oh, yes, there is. So we have a couple mountains here. Okay, yeah, those are mountains. I was going to say, more like hills than mountains, but no, there's mountains. And that almost looks like an arrowhead. Yep, pretty cool little planet. Let's get that off the screen. So is that all the planets for this star? Well, there's a Selena, but Those are boring. You're boring, Selena. You got some craters. Okay, so the next one is Kepler 62, suggested by Quinn Alexander, which I don't know if I actually mentioned who suggested this. It was Derp Sauce Gaming. Yeah, Derp Sauce Gaming suggested I went to this gas giant, and this gas giant's actually pretty cool. It has a lot of like kind of potentially terraformable worlds around it, so that's pretty awesome. Anyways, the next one is by Quinn Alexander. He wants me to visit Kepler 62. Letters, none of that, just Kepler 62. It says there's 2 planets in the habitable zone. Well, sadly, none of those planets look habitable at all. They're all sitting at very high temperatures. Where do I bring up the habitable zones? I could have swore I've seen this before, though. Nope, not seeing any. I could have swore it was actually in the game, though. I could be wrong. Well, nonetheless, none of these planets are habitable at all. I assume these would probably be the 2 right here. Let's go ahead and visit this one. This one is negative 48 degrees, and it is a cool desert with a very, very thick cloud layer. Oh, yes, very thick. Looks like we have two layers of clouds. So if I actually fly up and hit play, this should have a pretty interesting little effect with the clouds. Really see the clouds moving at all. No, they're pretty much moving with the planet. There's not really much wind going on from what I could tell. No, these clouds are pretty stuck to the planet here. Interesting. The atmosphere itself is actually kind of a vibrant blue. It's not the natural blue that we'd see on Earth. It is very, very different, I would say. Kind of a dark blue with a little bit of a teal added to it or something. And we kind of have some desert hills going on over here, some dunes. Yep, that is certainly what that is. So I assume this would probably be one of the ones in the habitable zone. And this might be the other one, but this thing is incredibly hot. It's sitting at 436 degrees Celsius, and it looks like it has a super dense atmosphere. Yes, I was not wrong about that. We have the star over there, I think. I can only tell by the way the sky is like shaped a little bit. And it's incredibly diffused in the atmosphere. It looks like we have three cloud layers. There it is. You can't see the star at all from the land. I think we have the same situation going on over here, except it's much hotter, so we actually have some red clouds. Actually, this is tidally locked, so we actually have a huge storm on it, and if I hit play on this, maybe we can get this to rotate? Yeah, we got a rotating storm. Very cool. Okay, do I have any more suggestions? WHG641 from Derp Sauce Gaming. Was that suggested? I think I might have actually, yeah, I think I visited that yesterday. Okay. We have 4 more suggestions, and that is actually from somebody on Reddit. No, 3 more suggestions. He goes by the name Silverwolf9300, so 9,300, or yeah, 9,300. Silverwolf9300. And he wants me to go to 3 different random star planets or something like that. He said it's some of his old locations for some of your viewers to enjoy. I do post pretty much all these episodes on Reddit. I'll normally like pick my favorite planet and then post it on Reddit with like a high-res screenshot and stuff. Yeah, just for future reference. Do try to suggest it in my comments. It makes it much easier. But yeah, I did actually see this in my Reddit messages, and yeah, I greatly appreciate that. Let's go ahead and try to visit one of these. Hopefully they are for 9.8.0. Oh no, I'm gonna have to type it, ain't I? These have super long IDs. Ah, man. Okay, jump cut. Okay, so it looks like it did load. It is a hot desert in a galaxy far, far away. And here we go. It looks like it might have a thick atmosphere. That is certainly what that looks like. It has some lovely purple rings. And where is the parent star? There it is. Looks like a yellow dwarf. Yep, yellow dwarf. And let's go ahead and land on it. Atmosphere, we can barely see that parent star. In fact, we can't because it's incredibly diffused by the atmosphere itself. And this reminds me of Venus, but with like a ring system around it. In fact, this looks a lot like the planet we just visited because of the kind of dune-like desert textures. And yeah, it's pretty cool. The cloud layer, as is pretty typical, it's actually pretty detailed on these planets. So I have one, I think two, yeah, two cloud layers. These are some pretty interesting, like, generated hills. I think we might be in the deserts of Arizona. A couple little, yeah, I think these are, yeah, I would say these are canyons. We got some canyons going on here. That's what it's trying to generate. Okay. I was kind of confused because at the outer skirts there, it did not look like... It just looked like random spikes of, like, rocks and stuff. But no, it's trying to generate canyons, it looks like. It's just not super deep. Or just not at a super high frequency. Very interesting. And over here... Oh, yeah, these ones are much nicer. So, yeah, pretty cool planet. And I'm going to try to visit the next one. Oh, wait, no, wait. You want me to go to number 4? I got sidetracked. No, wait, that's Kepler. No, I already visited. Okay, I was just making sure. Let's try to copy paste this next one. Hopefully it works. No, of course it doesn't work. There we go. Now it's working. There we go. So, a lovely blue and kind of beige colored. Really detailed looking gas giant. You can see the nice shadows of its rings, which has 2 layers of rings it looks like. And let's go ahead and speed up a little bit. Okay. Ring shadows, and where is the parent star? Oh, I think we're actually in a binary system. Or a triple star system. What's that over there? Oh, it's another gas giant. Okay. So here's the gas giant here. I don't think we have a bumpy cloud layer, but it is certainly a nice and detailed one. It's a little bit bumpy, but not as contrast as it does get. We fly under here, we can see the core of it just freaking out. Seriously, it looks like a black hole effect a little bit when you do that. And yeah, it's slightly 3D, but not really too much. You can kind of see it over there. Let's reset the field of view, and yeah, you can just see the stars shining through the ring layer. Ooh, and it looks like we have a little tiny moon over here. Let's go ahead and visit the little asteroid. Ooh, I flew past it. Hello, little asteroid. Ooh, you're actually a kind of cool looking one. Let's go ahead and land on it. And there we go, orbiting around our huge gas giant. Oh, too fast, too fast, too fast. There we go. Much better. There's one of the parent stars, and the other one should be over there. So what is this? This is a white main sequence star, and this one over here is an orange giant. Let's check out the orange giant. Pretty cool looking. Okay, so we have one last suggestion, and let's go ahead and pay a visit to it. That one copy-pasted just fine. Okay, so we have a star here. Blue supergiant. And I think that's a black hole. I'm seeing it in the thumbnail here. No. What's this? That is a black hole. With a nice accretion disk. Hello, black hole. So that means there's another black hole. One does not have an accretion disk, so it's a smaller black hole. Oh, that's... I think we are in a star cluster, I do believe. If not, we are probably in an elliptical galaxy. Okay, we're just in an elliptical galaxy. A small one. So, very cool. So it's a triple star system consisting of 2 black holes and a blue supergiant, as he mentions. So, that is all my suggestions I do believe I have for today. Let me double check my comments real quick. Yes, I do think that is all of them. I don't want to like miss anybody's. I think that's all of them. Anyways, if you guys like the video, please leave it a like, and if you want to see more videos like this, please do subscribe. It really does help, and I will see you guys in the next one.